welcome, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whatever time zone you're in, good night, good morning, wherever in the world you are, and welcome to tonight's session on the 75th anniversary group build for the Battle of Kursk and the Martyr that I'm building for it. And since you guys last saw this, a lot has happened to the kit. As you can see, it's painted and chipped and gloss coated. And today we will be putting on some decals as well as a pin wash to all the bolts, rivets, hatches, what have you, of this rather smallish vehicle. Before we do this, let me quickly talk about the process that has gotten me here up to this point so far. For those of you who haven't seen the first two installments of my life build along, the kit itself was a bit of a skill tester, to say the least. It was a bit of a pig, and it went together all right in the end. There were a lot of issues fit-wise and part-wise, and just a lot of things that I typically would not expect from a Dragon kit, especially from an older Dragon kit from the mid-2000s, where the kits were actually quite well engineered. So this kit actually had a bunch of issues that came with it. That's why I had to glue these two in part, which is basically why we have to weather this in, like, as a completed tank and not have the side panels left off, so we have easier access, especially when it comes to the interior. So we'll be messing around a bit in there, I guess. I gloss coated this last night with Aqua Gloss. This, at least from what I can tell, is one of, if not the best, acrylic glosses on the market. I don't spray lacquer, so I had to go with an acrylic, and I really like the Aqua Gloss. It is a bit tricky, but once you have the hang of it, you can just spray it. Just don't try and don't flood your model with it, because that might just flood your detail and make it hard for you to pick out detail later on. And before that, I sprayed Ammo by MIG paints, and I sprayed them over a chipping fluid from AK Interactive, heavy chipping fluid, this right here. And I actually did a video of this on a Stug, which is basically the same method. And then I sprayed the yellow, then I chipped the yellow, then I applied another layer of chipping fluid, and then I sprayed green camouflage over the top, and then just chipped it in a similar way. And after that, I used the Aqua Gloss to gloss coat it. And on what you just said, Adam, I've heard a bunch of people tell me that they ruined models with Aqua Gloss because they flooded their model. But so far, I haven't had issues with it, so I'm quite happy with it. So we'll see where this will go. And what we will be doing today is, first off, we'll be applying the decals for the Eastern Front 1943 that come with the kit. It's just some of the German Balkenkreuze and numerals. That's basically all that goes on this. There are no unit markings nor anything else apparent that would be indicated on the instruction sheet, so I'll just be adhering to what the instruction sheet tells me to do. And after that, I have this enamel wash, a dark brown wash by AK Interactive, and I'll be applying this to all the little details, all the grab handles, all the bolts, all the rivets, all the seam lines, and everywhere where dirt would collect on a real vehicle. We'll be applying the wash, like a pin wash, basically. And if you guys have done modeling before, you probably are accustomed to what a pin wash is. But I'll be talking about the pin wash more in detail when I apply it. And first off, what we are going to do is we're going to apply the decals. Now, what do we need for decal application? We need some setting solution. I use Microsol because I don't have anything else. I hear that Solvaset is quite good. Mr. Mark Setter I don't know about, but Microsol, so far I have never had bad results with Microsol when it comes to silvering, and bad silvering especially. The problem with decal application, especially if you do not gloss coat your models, is because of the rough texture of the paint, air will get caught underneath your decal when you apply it. And this air will cause the decal to not sit flat on the paint, and therefore it seems as if there's a reflection of light, which we call silvering. And in order to remove or at least lower the possibility of silvering, applying a gloss coat helps, and then using decal solution helps as well, just to smoothen the decal and just to really put it in place and really flatten it onto the model. Alright, we need tap water, and I use warm tap water when applying decals because that helps the decal to get off the carrier film and of the piece of carrier paper. Dragon decals normally are very good. They are printed by cartograph or cartographer, as some famous people on the internet would call it. The ones that came with the kit are slightly bent, so I hope that they still are good to go. And we will be using the red numerals up here, as well as these Balkenkreuz right here. Another tool that's handy is a hobby knife and a pair of tweezers. I always use the long tweezers to put it in the water, and then I use the smaller tweezers to actually position the decal on the model. You want to wet the surface of the model where the decal goes with a bit of the decal softener. You don't have to do this. I just like to do this. Let's start out with the numerals, and like I said, we use the red ones, and they will be going on the back ammo cases here in the back of the tank. We try to cut out the decals as closely to the carrier film as possible. And then, like I said, with the longer tweezers, we dip our decals in the water and then we wait. And normally with the warm tap water, it only takes about a couple of seconds for the decal to actually loosen. And while we do this, we can actually already use our flat brush. And this is another tool that's quite handy when applying decals, a flat brush to wet the surface of our model. That should be, no, it's not enough. We can always just take it out a bit and see whether or not we can move it with the tweezers already. If we can, just put it back in the water. Wait a couple more seconds. The water already has cooled down a bit. I actually took it off the tap like half an hour ago when I was setting up everything for the live stream. So yeah, it has cooled down quite a bit. Just want to remove the excess water from our decal. Yeah, no, it's loose. That's good. All right, then we take the smaller tweezer and then we weten the model again because the decal solution has already dried up. Place the decal on the model. Now there are two different approaches to doing this. One is you take a Q-tip and with the flat end you try and remove all the liquid from underneath the decal. Then wet your brush with the decal solution again and apply more decal solution over the top. And then you wait, and then you see whether or not this actually did the job that you wanted it to do. I actually like the look of the red numbers on the yellow camouflage with the green camel pattern. That looks really good. While you wait for this, while we wait for this, there's another issue that I have that we will have to face here in a second, which is the application of the German cross markings right here, because the cross marking is supposed to go behind the tools on the outside of our tank right here. The problem is, at least from what I can tell, the fit of the tools is so snug and so tight that we will probably not be able to fit in the decals underneath the tools. So I will have to find a different solution. And I'm currently thinking of cutting the decal in two parts and having the second part between there just and adding this underneath. So I'll see how this works out. But first off, let me try and see if I can make this decal even smoother right here. There you go. Close up look. This is how this looks. And I really like the look of this. Like, nice contrast that this creates. And the thing is, if this silvers, we will still be able to take off some of the silvering when we apply our matte coat during the next step here. Alright, what's next? We let this dry for a second. While we wait for this, you might just want to tell me how you're coming along with your builds for the group build, if you're in the group build. Or how you guys are doing, what you guys are doing on a Tuesday evening, during the day, wherever you are. Because I know that this can be quite boring while I wait for something to dry. Like I found out when I did the last build along and I was painting. And I had to wait for paint to dry. Some people actually told me that it was quite boring. And I know why. Dragon instructions are from hell. Yes, they are. And yes, they can be. The problem with this kit is not so much the instructions though. It's more the kit itself and the fit. Yeah. I don't think the instructions for this are too bad. Although there's one part within the construction, and it's not just me, but Hamilcar Bark has actually made me aware of this. There's one part that goes actually inside there that is really weird and off. Yes, I hope you get well soon, Adam. That really does not sound too well. Maybe you need to lose the caffeine, huh? How about that? It's caffeine or eyesight. And I'd rather have my eyesight. Damn. When I heard that, I was like, oh my god. When I read that, I'm like, okay, that does not sound too good. I hope he is well, and I hope he gets well soon. So what's the prognosis from the doctors? How long do they reckon that it will last for? Oh my god. So you'll have this black dot in your eyesight for 3 to 4 months? Jesus. Think I'd go insane. Well, I guess the first like self-diagnosis would be like, oh my god, I've got eye cancer. Jeez. I think I'd go insane. Honestly. Wow. Like I said, I hope you get well soon. Maybe even sooner than the 2 to 3 months. Or the 3 to 4 months. Jeez. Oops. To go back to see what you just wrote there, I had to moisten the surface for the decal. Alright, and that's number 2. Done. Seb, come on. I did not say I've got eye cancer. I said that would have been the first thought that would have gone through my mind in a situation like Adam's. Because I'm a bit paranoid when it comes to the big C. Alright. Now it's the Balkenkreuzer. The German crosses. And no, it's not Balkenkreuz, and it's not whatever else I ever heard for this. It's Balkenkreuz. Which means... What's the a good translation for Balkan? I have no clue right now. I don't know. The English major says he has no clue what Balkan is. Oh no, it's a bar cross. Yes, there you go. It's a bar cross. Yeah, a bar. Yeah, bar cross should be what this should be called. No, I cannot. We'll see. We'll see. All right, let's go to this side first, because on this side, application should be easier than on the other side. All right, who else is watching today? I saw Seb there. I saw Adam. Who else we've got tonight? I don't understand why the Germans would put on a big cross like this, which basically gives away their position. This is just nuts. In cases where, like this, where we have to use a bit of water to make the decal go to the position that we want it in, it's always useful to have a Q-tip handy just to clean it up. Then we can... Yeah, that's basically what you could say about this. This is for aiming for the Russian tankers. Jesus. We have some silvering on the decals, which I don't really love too much, to be honest. And I think this is in the wrong position right now. Maybe I can salvage this and move this where it should go. It's actually a bit further down there. You can use your fingers to manipulate a decal to move it slightly. Not too much, especially after you have applied decal solution, otherwise you'll just ruin your decal. So what I'm doing here is probably not the best idea, but if you're careful enough, you can manage this without damaging your decal. Of course, when you look at this right now, and like the really stark contrast that this decal has with the rest of the tank, weathering will help put this into place much better and just tone it down a lot. And we need to do this because this is just way too stark. I guess you guys can actually see this. All right, with the next one, we'll do what I said before. I'll just cut it off and then I'll just put it into parts just to make it easier to fit around the tools on the other side of the hull. And I should listen to myself a bit better and do what I've told you I'd do and use the long tweezers because it's much, much more comfortable for your hand. And I wanted to cut this. See, I'm totally... Oh, I'm messing this up. I'm totally fucking this up right now. Alright. Oh boy. Alright. That was a bit of luck that I could still do this while I actually had already put it in the water. But yes, I was actually lucky enough to be able to take this off and cut this. Forgot the microsol as well. See, that's the television experience that you're getting here with me. Forgetting all the things that I told you I'd do. Because you guys make me nervous. That looks okay, positioning wise. Sometimes it's very handy to have a sharp object like your hobby knife handy to manage to put this where it should go. Alright, and then we take the Q-tip again, dry this off, dry our brush, take some of the microsol, reissue some of the microsol to the cross, same for the other side here. And like I said, we have some silvering, and it might just be that the microsol is getting up there in age, because I never had this problem before, and lately, like the last couple of builds, I've had this problem with the microsol. I know from experience. The bottle actually tells you, don't shake. I did. Didn't turn out too well. I take full responsibility. So Seb, you still driving, or have you come to your night's rest for today? Yeah. There it is. Do not shake. Oh, okay. Explain if you'd like, because that doesn't make much sense to me. But again, I'm just a German, and we don't grasp concepts like this often. Ah, okay, awesome. So you'll be home tonight. You will be home tonight. That's awesome. Alright, that's all the decals done. Woo! Now all we have to do is wait for the decal solution to dry, and then we can actually start with the washes. Or actually, I can start with the washes on the gun because there's no decals on the gun, so yeah, I can actually start doing that. In just a sec, and just apply another small amount of decal solution to our decals, just to make sure that they are in place and sound. Then we put this to the side right here, and then we can start the fun part, the messy part, the part where I put off my ring. All right, we have a gun, we have wash, and we have white spirit, because white spirit is always handy to thin washes, and of course to clean excess wash from areas where we don't want wash to be. And luckily we have the gun that we can start on now, and we just take the unthinned wash. Good afternoon, evening, good night, actually. And then we'll take a very small, this is a 00 brush, and then we pick out the small detail. And thanks to the gloss coat and the capillary action, the wash will collect around raised detail, which is exactly why we want it to collect. A miracle! Try and concentrate just a bit, not to mess this up. Especially the rivets on the gun shield are very prominent, and once you put the wash on them, they really start to pop out. It's like really nice, and then you have the welded on detail over the gun that really comes to life with a wash. The small bolts that are on it really start popping. Yeah. I hope the camera picks this up even a little. I don't think it does, which is a shame, because I'm still basically using my phone to do all the recording. I hope to change this in the near future, but at this point it's still the phone, and it will be for at least the next couple of weeks and months. I would love to give you guys. I used Vallejo primers when I started modeling, and I still use them on some, like, for diobases. I like them quite a lot because they are cheap and because they are cheap. Oh, cool. That sounds good. I'll give that a look. Putting on a pin wash can be a quite the tedious task because it takes you quite a while to really get paint in every small little crevice of your model. But you want to be very careful with this because if you go too overboard, you might ruin your model. Although, thanks to the gloss coat again, we can take this wash off rather easily and rather quickly, so it's not too bad if you get too much wash in certain areas. Especially the gun muzzle will have lots of dirt and soot, so a nice wash in the crevices there always makes that come to life. And once the gun is done, I think the decals will be dry enough so that we can apply the wash to the rest of the mortar. And with the gun breech and all of that, you don't have to be as careful because that would collect tons of soot as well from the exit fumes of the shell. And of course from the propellant. But yes, Adam, I'm looking forward to you joining the group build. That will be cool. After all, you're a big name in the modeling community. Having you on board will only give this credibility. Then again, you're not Emi Jimenez, but who is? Any idea about the thinning? The thinning of what? Thinning what? Please tell me what you want to know about thinning. Well, they have primers. Don't thin them at all. They're a primer. You don't thin primer. I would never thin primer, to be honest. No. I have never thinned primer, and I would not advise you to thin primer, because if you thin them, they do not have the capacity, like the what's the word I'm looking for here? The characteristics that you want them to have. So I never thin my primer. I will spray it directly from the bottle. Right now it's the Steiner Res in the reissued version of UMP currently, and I spray that unthinned, straight from the bottle, no issues whatsoever. Don't use thinner on your primer, is what I can tell you. If you want to get the best results, don't use thinner on your primer. But then again, I'm just a small modeler, and I don't know everything. To thin it? What? Okay. That's just no. That doesn't make sense to me because, like I said, I've never heard of a primer that you have to thin because I think that they are formulated in a way that they are perfect as they are. And I don't think you want to screw with that, but if the guy that actually makes it tells you to thin it, I guess you can thin it. I just don't think you need to. Once you apply your wash, you might want to get some of the thinner, the white spirit, and just take some of the excess off. The earlier you do that, the easier it is. And what you should do, apply your wash over a gloss coat is easy. A dirty secret. Ooh, dirty secrets. Yes, exactly, Clayton. That's what I think. That is what I think. Thinning primer makes it pink. Hamilcar never primes either, so... And his stuff is good. I think it's just a matter of whether or not you want to do it. Alright, that's the gun done. Let's do the martyr now. And let's start out with the back here with the storage racks with the ammunition. That has grab handles on it. And the grab handles love washes. They just soak them up. You can accentuate them easily, and it makes them look so much more like the real thing. And the good thing about this wash, this dark brown wash, while it looks black when you apply it, it really dries in a brownish, dirty color. Exactly the way you want it to look. I used to use a dark black wash when I started out modeling German armor, but lately I've decided that black is a very like a bad color when doing dark yellow, so I've turned to this dark brown wash, and the results are very impressive, at least to my eye. we will not be applying a wash of the decals. We will take care of the decals with a filter. That's why I can now apply the wash, although I haven't gloss coated the entire model after application of the decals. Just in case you're wondering why I'm not protecting the decals, because I'm just not applying a wash straight to them. The vision ports always are a nice place to put a wash. Accentuates them really nicely and makes them come to life, really. Where the fenders meet the chassis is always a nice position for a wash. That always really makes it pop. Of course, seam lines, weld seams are always the perfect position for a wash, because otherwise you might just not see them. And once you apply the wash, they just really start to grow on you, and you actually start to see them really nicely and really well. You do, however, not want to apply a wash to the top surfaces of the fenders. We will be handling the fenders and dealing with the fenders with pigment. So if you, by chance, get some of your wash on the fender, however, it's not a problem. You can either take it off or leave it there and be grease, for example. If I'm telling you guys stuff you guys already know, I'm sorry, but there might be viewers of this that are new to the hobby. I want to be as appealing to them as well. So I'm talking about the techniques I use and how I use them. And maybe some of the newer modelers can actually learn something from this. I actually ordered something for the diorama yesterday, which should be here either tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. And once this is here, I will be doing a live session on actually finishing and building the dio base for this build. And that should be some fun. Looking forward to that. I was lazy, I have to admit, this time around with the dio base. I bought a already prefabricated thing that will help me with the dio base. So yeah, I was a bit of a lazy modeler there, but to be honest, I don't care if the results are to my liking. I might give that company even more of my money in the future. So yeah, we'll see how that turns out. And like I said, I hope to have it with me soon. This is a very tedious work. And a very, very, very time-consuming step. Oh! I haven't tried logging in on ISM for quite a while, Mr. Barkus. I don't know. I don't care about what happens there, to be honest. No. Since there was tampering with my user account by one of the administrators, I haven't logged on there. Yeah, apparently it was funny to change my profile information, and yeah, no. Oh! Maybe they've purged us, Adam. Maybe they've purged us. All them nice comments you left them, and they deleted them. That's not nice. Good evening to Bavaria, anyways. How are we tonight? In the southernmost part of the country. So do I, Adam. I think he's named Adam as well. I hear he's quite the nice bloke. Can be a bit complicated from time to time. The problem with ISM lately is the fact that they are very, very, how do I put this, opinionated. And that people with opinions that don't match their opinions are slighted very easily and very fast. And I don't like this about their side. And I'm not particularly talking about myself here. I'm talking about other people that maybe did not have any kind of dealings with the certain leader of the pack at ISM, like I may have had. So, yeah. Like I said, I don't think that the way people are treated there matches their moniker of haven for all sorts of scale modelers. I don't know. I do not think that matches what happens there. That was a bit much. Oh God. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. While I did not like the build of it, I do like the look of it right now. It's coming along. And this is gonna be like one of those real like war hogs that I've seen a lot and taking a beating and gonna be strongly weathered and chipped, and the chips are already on. And I went to town on this and really beat it up. And this is the look I'm actually going for with this. I want this to look really beaten up. Like this is seen a lot of the Russia campaign even before Kursk. And now they've taken her to Kursk for maybe her last hurrah to deal with some T-34s. So we'll see if I can turn her into a convincing war beast. War veteran. That's why I'm using the brown wash, because this really gives away the look of oil, grease, and collected dirt that you would get from being on the battlefield for quite some time. Maybe years, months on the Eastern Front. Starting out in in the winter of 42, being deployed to the Russian front, going through combat after and a couple of German vehicles actually went through a lot of abuse on the Russian front, because they were basically deployed as soon as they came back, and there were no real rest periods for the crews and the vehicles, because let's face it, the Germans were severely outnumbered. Since Hitler decided that the war on two fronts was a good idea, the German troops were severely outnumbered, not just on the Eastern Front, but also on the Western Front. Especially in 1943. And then 1944, as soon as the Americans entered the European war theater. So yeah, German tanks were under constant deployment and under constant beating. So having this be beaten to shreds is not too bad of an idea, I guess. And there are certain areas that I now realize did not get enough gloss coat, and in those areas the wash doesn't work as it should, and I'm getting a bit of problematic results. So we'll have to see if I can fix this. But luckily it's a lot of the interior areas where you don't see it anyways as soon as the crew is at it. And to those of you who are actually members of my Facebook group, I posted a couple of pictures of the crew that I plan on using for this yesterday. Late yesterday evening, actually. About the time that we have right now. Yeah. I think it was about 9 o'clock. I posted this. After I was done with some moving around and mocking up and all sorts of shenanigans. And if you're not a member of my Facebook group yet, why don't you head over to Facebook? I'm not using a crew set. It's assorted figures from different sets. I'll show you in a second. Just give me a second. Let me finish this, please. The good thing is, thanks to the wash, thanks to the gloss coat, I can take off the excess wash tomorrow as well. So it's not a problem if I add too much right now and I don't take it off today. I can still take this off tomorrow, maybe even the day after tomorrow. But I don't want to mess this up, so let me quickly show you the figures that I'll be using. I'll be using these two, and then maybe a couple more. Maybe it's gonna be like a total of 4 figures on a dial base. Oh, the brown looks so good. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. I love it. No, Hendrik wasn't talking. No. I would never talk about history. Adam, you know me. How dare you think I would talk about history? And if I was, I probably messed it up anyways. Since I'm not a war historian. Although I am actually a graduated historian, I'm not a war historian. I cannot tell you about which tank was deployed when. If you want to know that, go ask Adam. He knows. If you want me to explain to you why certain countries entered the war and when and how, I might be your guy. That's what I actually learned. I did not attend a military school or something. Hey? Ballsy but cool, bro. Okay. I wasn't actually trying to like. But thanks, I guess. I don't care if people disagree with what I say. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, so the people that disagree, if they have valid arguments, I'm totally fine with accepting what they say. I have a problem, however, with people that want you to believe in their shit and they can't back it up. I don't like this. The Finns, oh yeah, they kept the Russians busy. Didn't change the outcome of the war, but they did for sure keep the Russians busy. In the early stages of the war especially. Sounds like it's 9 o'clock already. I love this. This is the process of modeling I love the most. Dirtying up your vehicle. I love this. This is so much fun. You gotta be careful though. You can easily overdo this, but in this case I don't think I can because this is a war beast. Like I said, this has seen a lot of action. I sadly can't watch all the comments that you guys post, so I always just like need to go back and see what you guys said because I'm trying to not mess this up big time. So if I don't react to your comments directly, don't take it personal. Just stick it in there somehow is what I would do. And what I did not really care much. So like, alright. I have to admit though, you are correct that it is a weird part and its positioning is very, very confusing, to say the least. I actually would have to go inside a real martyr and actually see how it looks inside in order to tell you whether or not the way I did it is right or wrong. It's just weird. I guess what I did is semi-right and semi-wrong in a way. Like I said, I have no clue. It's... I'll show you guys, Adam, in a... just give me a second. Let me finish this here quick. I need to only highlight a couple more rivets here around the strive pocket. It's between the fighting compartment and the engine. No, I don't think the engine is... Like, between fighting compartment and the storage racks right here. And down there, like, underneath this box, there's a part, like, it's a radiator kind of thing that goes underneath there. And the instructions are so vague, they don't actually tell you where it goes and how it goes in that position. Yep. This isn't a Soviet gun though. This is the one that this comes with. This is a German gun. I'll show you a picture of the instruction sheet, Adam. Give me a second. Try this dirty sprocket housing. Ten people watching right now. That's nice. Hello guys, welcome. Thank you for spending time with me on my life build of the Martyr 3. Martyr 2. Sorry, Martyr 2 for the Kursk 75th anniversary group builds. And the part that we are talking about, dear Adam, is this one. B-53, which goes underneath the fighting compartment hull, rooftop, right there, next to that box thingy. Like I said, I think, to me, it looks like a radiator. To me, it looks like a radiator. But there's no room for the radiator. But that might just be me being a bad model builder. But the fact that Mr. Barkus has the same issues makes me feel less bad. Alright, right now I'm in the cleanup process, and I'm taking off some of the wash that I think is excess. To make it look less uncontrolled and more realistic, to be honest. I would really appreciate it if YouTube would make it possible for me to go back and watch all the comments from you guys once I'm done with the video. Huh. Go, Mike. Tell him. Tell him. You know, while I'm not Hamilcar, I think I can answer. You know, there are so many English-speaking modelers out there that make videos. Yet, there are not that many good German-speaking modelers out there, so, and model channels out there. So, by him doing this in German, on the one hand, he offers something to his German viewing audience that maybe does not speak English as fluent, and at the same time, he makes himself unique. And uniqueness is something that attracts viewers. Which isn't a bad thing if you want to run a successful channel on YouTube, and if you want to grow your channel on YouTube. So I don't see anything wrong with him doing it in German. Actually, I like the fact that he's doing it in German. Adds a little something to the community. And trust me, a lot of German-speaking of the German-speaking audience would have never started modeling or started watching modeling channels if not for him. That's correct, Adam. We still have some of those Photoshop accidents of yours saved on my hard drive. And not just the good ones. should still feel ashamed to this day that you incorporated me. Yes, it's everywhere. It's everywhere, Adam. It's everywhere. I actually don't have a problem with you doing me as Schultz. I did not appreciate some of the others, but you know that already. I like this. I like where this is going. And I like the chipping of this. I really do. Gotta tell you, I really do like this. There are some areas where I need to check on. As soon as this is dry though. Because, like I said, the wash keeps drying and then changes color a bit. And damn it. I will be taking pictures of this, of course, later. Finnish perspective. Isn't there like the Finnish stuk that comes with censored swastikas when you buy it in Germany? I think Mr. Barkus bought that, or got that. And when he got it, he was totally perplexed as to why the Finnish swastikas had been censored. Since they had nothing, and let me repeat this, absolutely, positively nothing to do with Nazi swastis. I really, really like the look of this, and for those of you who asked, we'll have this crew guy right here. He will be standing in this corner of the motor, loading a piece of ammunition into the gun breech, and this dude right here is holding a spent shell and is actually throwing it out of the tank in the back. Sly? What? Wait, what? You did! How dare you, Adam? How dare you? How dare you, honestly? Yes, a big hand, because I had to actually see and look at the back chat, because, like I said, I can't look up all the time, so I have to check occasionally what you guys have been talking about, since that interests me as well. Anyway, I think I'll let this dry for a sec, and then I'll see whether or not we actually have to do something else. But let me talk to you about what's going to be next for this. After I actually spray this with a matte coat, ultra matte varnish from AK, I will be doing weathering, and I'll be doing some rusting, and I'll be doing some mud and dusting in the lower area, especially around the suspension system. And I'll be using this. This is Weiler's Light Brown Textured Earth Stony, as well as Reality in Scales Mud in a Pod, Dry Mud and Foliage Light. And I'll mix those two to create a very, very subtle, very, very convincing mud around the running gear. And once that's done, I'll do it in areas around the back of the tank and the front of the tank. And yeah, that's probably what's going to be happening next, especially, and some detail painting. I need to pick out the tools. Of course, they need some paint. What did I miss now? Again, a big hand. Did you get that for free like Adam always does? Yay, Walter. No, I did not get that for free like Adam always does. I had to pay for this. I gotta tell you though, I prefer the reality and scale stuff. I hope this has not dried yet. No. It smells weird, but it's still usable. This is a... I have something I can get this out with. Oh yeah, this needs water. This needs water. Oh god. As you can see, this is a granulated textured paste, which badly needs water. Did you actually eat this, Adam? It looks a bit like dog or cat food, to be honest. Thanks to the grainy nature of it. No, water is good. It doesn't need to thin us up. It's water based. Yep. I don't need subtitles either. I understand every word he says. Trust me, you'll get there. All of us started at one point, and all of us took a long, long time to get where we are right now. And trust me, yeah, geese arscht. Yeah. My girlfriend always starts to chuckle when she hears geese arscht. Or geese arscht. Because actually, it's geese arscht, kind of. And like, yeah, that's true, Seb. Neither do mine. Mine look more like I've been modeling for about a week and a half. That's why I only win bronze when I enter competitions. That's when I only come in 3rd out of 4. I know. I'm a bad modeler. I'm sad right now. Now you made me sad. Interested in what? Oh, learning German. Oh, learning German is not too hard. Well, you're speaking a Nordic language, so actually it should be easier for you than, for example, for people that speak, let's say, English or Japanese. Oh. Oh, Mr. Barkus again for the joke of the evening. Yes, but you're right. Yeah, even the small children speak German over here. It's weird, right? And they actually speak English. Although not well, but some of them do speak it well. Yeah. As soon as they start to get like 10, 11 years old, they start to speak English rather well. And I hope that I will be able to teach future generations of Germans how to speak English even better. We'll see about that, I guess. We'll see about that, I guess. Yeah, start snoozing. Maybe I'll catch a hangout this weekend, Seb. I do not want to sound British at all, Mr. Man. How dare you say that I sound British? Actually, when I was in Great Britain, they actually thought that I was from the States because of my accent. And not British at all. No. Why would you think that? Harder R's. Alright then. You know, dude, I do not want to sound like I'm from Texas. Or something like that. You know? Like, burger. 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 Water. just to troll Mike. Water. Now you have it. Awesome. Cool. Now I'm officially American proved. Awesome. That's so awesome. I can't hold my water right now. Water. Why are you making fun of your own countrymen, Adam? You don't actually need to try to make fun of your own countrymen. Your own countrymen actually do it for themselves. Come on. But I don't want to make this a political video. Swedish. Actually, we should get Stefan in here. He could teach you Swedish. Awesome. Anyways, I think that will do after 1 hour and 21 minutes. So I think that we can stop with the video and let this dry overnight and then see where we are tomorrow morning. And then I will probably do a video about the dirt and mud on this as well. And if I know when I'll do this, I'll talk to you guys and I'll tell you guys. But for now, I think I'll call it a night. It's 9:30 now, roughly. 9:20. Gotta pick up the missus soon. This needs to dry. Once again, thank you to all of you who joined me on this adventure. And thank you for watching. Thank you for participating in the chat. Thank you for keeping up with interesting questions, interesting discussions about languages. And I hope to see you guys around. This is Solid Modeling. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.